Boy kept pulling my hijab off in class. The principal said he was just curious about other cultures, so I got curious about his browser history. The first time Chad pulled my hijab off, I cried in the bathroom for 20 minutes. The second time, I went straight to the principal. He nodded along while I talked, wrote some notes. Then he called Chad in. I had to sit there while Chad explained he was just curious and didn't know it was a big deal. Principal looked at me like I should accept that. See, he didn't mean anything by it. He's just interested in other cultures. Chad smirked at me on the way out. He knew nothing would happen. He was right. My parents tried everything. Emails, phone calls, a meeting with the superintendent. Everyone agreed it was unfortunate, but Chad was a good kid who was just asking questions in his own way. By the third time it happened, it was in class. He pulled it off and held it above his head like a trophy. Teacher told him to give it back. That was it. No office, no consequences, just give it back. I realized nobody was going to protect me, so I decided to protect myself. I wasn't a hacker. I was just patient. Chad used the same password for everything. His Instagram handle plus his jersey number. I knew because he'd typed it in front of me a dozen times without caring who saw. One night I logged into his cloud storage from my phone. I expected to find texts calling me slurs, screenshots of hate forums, proof he was Islamophobic so the school would finally have to act. I found something else entirely. A folder labeled private. Inside were subfolders with girls' names. I recognized them. Mia, Destiny, Jade. I clicked on one and my heart stopped. Locker room footage, showers, girls getting changed, hidden camera angles from inside the vents. I covered my mouth, kept scrolling. There were dozens, maybe 100 files, freshmen, seniors, girls who had no idea they'd been violated. Then I found a folder with my name on it. 3 videos, 2 photos. I didn't click on them. I couldn't. Just seeing my name in that folder made my skin crawl. This whole time I thought he was just targeting me for my hijab. Turns out I was just another girl on his list, another body in his collection. I sat there for a long time staring at my own name. Part of me wanted to close the laptop and forget everything I'd seen. But then I thought about Mia, Destiny, Jade, the freshmen who just started this year. None of them knew. I forced myself to keep going. I took screenshots of everything. The folder structure, the file names, the metadata showing the dates. Then I found something even worse. Receipts. He was selling these videos online. A whole operation. Him and at least 5 other guys based on the chat logs. I saved every piece of evidence I could find. Then I logged out and started planning. I didn't go to the principal. I went to the police, walked into the station with my phone and asked to speak to someone about a crime. The officer's face changed the second I showed him the screenshots. Within an hour, I was in a room with 2 detectives and my parents. They took my phone, made copies of everything, asked me questions for 3 hours. The next morning, I was in first period when I heard the sirens. 2 police cars pulled into the school parking lot, then a third. I watched through the window as officers walked into the building. 10 minutes later, Chad was escorted out in handcuffs. He was crying, actually crying. The whole school saw. An hour later, they pulled another guy out of second period, then another from the gym, then 2 more from the cafeteria. 5 arrests total, all connected to the chat. The principal stood in the hallway looking like he'd been hit by a truck. A detective walked up to him and said something I couldn't hear, but I saw his face go white. By the end of the day, every parent in the district had received an email. Hidden cameras had been found in the girls' locker room. 3 of them. The investigation was ongoing. The principal got put on administrative leave a week later. Parents wanted to know why he'd ignored complaints about Chad for months. I could have told them, but I didn't need to. The emails my parents sent were already in the investigation file. Turns out, just curious about other cultures doesn't hold up well in court.